up next on Inspiring Beauty and Believers?
I really did not know this, but men, I think women do not believe that men are sensitive and that they have feelings and emotions. And we believe, like, not to be funny or nothing, but male ego is a thing. And male ego is a thing because men are sensitive, though. And I don't think that's what women realize. So
for me, I think submission is a beautiful thing. We talked about this in the last episode. It's a beautiful thing to be able to submit to the authority of a man in the household because you know that he's taking care of what needs to be taken care of. But as Black women, because I can't talk for no other woman, as a Black woman, if I've been holding it down, because I'm a single mom. If I've been holding it down, making sure my kids are taken care of, they're my priority. So if you want me to trust you that you're going to come in and make sure that me and my kids are taken care of and just release the reins and just be like, just let you do, I need to see some kind of like, I don't need to know all of the details, but I need to have some kind of idea of like, you did hear from God and this is what we're doing. And sometimes men, I feel like they feel threatened when a woman asks questions because they don't want to have to explain themselves. I'm not asking you to explain yourself. I'm just saying, I just would like, for my peace of mind, my peace of heart, can you just help me, like Jaquil was saying, help me walk through this with me so I can say, okay, I know my man's got this. Not he just out here doing all kinds of stuff. All the money is out the bank account and now we struggling to keep stuff. I can't live like that. I can't live. I just
want some rationale, basically. I mean, again, Chantel, like you said, as a Black woman who lives on her own, and I'm used to handling things on my own. So, like for me, I only have to report to myself, but I understand that when you have that family dynamic, I'm gonna have to report to him. You see what I'm saying? So I just want to know, okay, why are we doing this? Like, this just to support your pipe dream? Because you like 85 years old and you still want to do this rap thing? Like, listen, bro, I'm not doing this with you. I'm not doing this with you. I'm not doing this pipe dream thing. But if this is for your podcast, if this is for your business, and you saying, babe, this is to get us to the next step, then I got you. Because honestly, I want to see your dreams come true. I just can't support the pipe dream type thing. I hate to say it like that, but it is.
I mean, if the Lord called you to be a rapper.
Yeah, if he called you to be a rapper. Yes. But I'm saying not if last week he called you to be a model and then the week before that he was supposed to be going to musical school.
But see, the thing about it is both of you have communicated that in this situation have communicated that. Sometimes because I felt like this where I've done something and it's rapid fire questioning and it's not necessarily in my head that I'm thinking, oh, you want to know. It's more of you questioning me. Mm-hmm. So, but when we have that conversation where it's like, babe, you know what? I'm with you. It's just a simple fact. Like I said, you know that I've been doing this for so long. Mm-hmm. I'm not asking or saying that you're not leading me. I'm just simply asking for the destination. Bring me in, because he may have an issue, but that's why communication is just so big.
Yeah.
You know, and it's how you have to understand.
It's how you say it. It's how you say it. So if either one of you were talking to me and then I heard that and I'd be like, oh, that makes complete and utter sense. So let me give you the blueprint of what I'm doing. You know what I mean? This is why I'm doing this. I'm doing this to do that. It's not a questioning of what I'm doing. It's just a simple fact that I would like to know where we're going. Where's our destination? I don't, and sometimes a woman is not like, all right, and so I don't even care how we get there. Just tell me where we going. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are going to LA. Oh, okay. And he's like, all right, I'm going to take care of the transportation and all of that. A woman can lay back and be like, I don't know if he's going to do it by train, bus, or whatever, but I know that we going to LA. You know what I mean? Like, and sometimes that's what a woman needs. She just needs to know where you're leading her to, because she wants to be able to decide whether she want to go to LA. She's like, I don't like LA. Maybe this ain't where I'm trying to go. So, I want to go to San Diego or whatever the case may be. But it's a communication thing. That's really, really big. So, yes, and that's where the submission comes into. And like Sean was saying before, is like, I tell people all the time, all right, so yes, they talk about woman be submitted to man, but man be submitted to God. And I'll speak to women. I said, so if the man moves out of the way, right? Or the man is following God, who are you actually following?
Following God.
You following God.
Yeah.
You following God. But as a man, you have to be in that place and be following in God. And I've had conversations with my wife where I'm just like, yo, I'm doing what God said. I don't even care about what you doing. But God told me to do this. So I'm doing this.
Right.
Period. And that's where that confusion comes into play though. But submission is beautiful, but man has to submit to God too. Because
True.
I done had some conversations with God where I'm like, yo, nah, bro.
Yeah, that's tough, man.
It can be tough sometimes.
Already
like,
know.
nah, I ain't trying to do that. And you be like, yeah, you are. You love me? Yeah. Then I think you need to do this.
Wow.
It have been some hard nights, tears and everything, where I done had some battles where I'm like, I hear you, God. I asked to hear you, but I ain't really trying to hear you. I ain't trying to hear you. So there's submission within man a lot of times too. We have to do that, but I don't think that's something that's talked about a lot as well.
It's not at all. To be honest, we gonna talk about it.
You just think that we'd be like, yeah, cool, yeah. Nah, bro. Nah. It's that flesh is strong, man.
It is.
I had this flesh for 41 years. You think, you know what I'm saying? That is just
you already know, man. You got a lot of wisdom.
You know what I'm saying? It's I've been working with this thing a lot. So, but yeah, we submit as well, women. But you know what? What do we want women to know? We submit as well.
Yeah.
Good.
There you go.
Hashtag that, Shani.
I like that. Yeah, we submit. Yeah.
We submit as well.
That's good.
We submit as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we understand what y'all going through because we got to submit. So we get it.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's a good start.
That's a good start.
Episode. Okay, so I will go to question number 2. Okay, how can women make men feel more supported and valuable? I know that's a question.
It's a question, but we kind of answered it as well.
Yeah,
I think so.
But we can press into it. I mean, by like the conversation of saying, I want you to lead. I got faith in you. There's everybody talked about the love languages, but encouragement is big. I tell you, if my woman tell me, baby, I'm so happy for you. You about to go out here and conquer the world today. Okay. Feeling kind of good about myself a little bit. You know what I'm saying? My baby believes in me. Can't nobody else tell me nothing, So that's something that we need. That's something that I absolutely believe. So
what I'm learning, and I really did not know this, but I think women do not believe that men are sensitive and that they have feelings and emotions. And we believe, not to be funny or nothing, but male ego is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And male ego is a thing because men are sensitive though. And I don't think that's what women realize. So I watched the previous episode, and most of you guys said the church love language was words of affirmation. And coming from somebody who my love language is also words of affirmation, I can understand why you need to hear, like, let me do a podcast episode and you don't say nothing. Like, you don't be like, oh, that podcast episode was popping. And if it won't pop, and you'll be like, hey, babe, you kind of missed the mark on that. But let me tell you how you can fix it. If I get my hair done, you don't say my hair looking good, we're going to go ahead. We're going to go at it, because like, I feel like that's a part of telling me, like, you're affirming me, you're pouring into me. And I think women, we forget, like, when men put on the suit, you better be like, oh,
Hey.
okay. See you. Like,
Sure.
you know, you got to feed that ego. And so the reason why I was saying that is because I was also coming from the perspective of a mental health perspective. I work with a lot of men who said, like, they were used to their mom, because their mom unfortunately did not have the support of a man. They took their issues out on their son. So it was always like, you ain't ass, you ain't gonna be ass, you ain't gonna be nothing, you just like your daddy. So they never heard anything positive. And with that being stated, then they get into a relationship, and we are who we attract, right? So they get these women who say, you ain't us, you ain't nothing, you ain't never gonna be nothing. And it's like, oh man, like, wait a minute, I forgot that male ego is really just, I'm sensitive, I'm hurting. I actually kind of would like somebody to say, babe, you can do that. You need to write the business plan. Go back to school. I think you need to handle that. Oh, you look good today. Look at you. Like, you know, and I think as women, we don't recognize that men need it too. Just like we need it.
Oh, yeah.
They need it.
Straight up. Yeah.
Well, men don't realize, a lot, some men, and we're going to stop saying a lot, or, you know, whatever. But there's some men who don't know that they self.
They don't know that they need affirmation. Is what
They don't know that they have feelings.
Well, and I think it's because when they were kids, going back to what Jaquil was saying, you know, being told you're not nothing, all of these different things. And then also being told real men don't cry. Because I had a conversation with one of my sons. He was like, you know, I don't want to be emotional because men aren't emotional. I was like, who told you that? Like, first of all, men are emotional. Some men, it comes out in their anger when they be punching stuff. And I don't want you to turn into one of those men. So you need to let your emotion out in a healthy way. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna just bring this back, and I hate to be this person, but I'm gonna have to do that, right?
Go ahead and
that goes back to the Willie Lynch letter, though. And I implore a lot of African-American males to read the Willie Lynch letter, and women too, because back in slavery time, they wrote this letter to kind of like show you, oh, this is how you ruin a race. This is how you make a race hate themselves. And unfortunately, y'all know mammy, like when they be like, your mammy, I hate that term, because mammy was so busy taking care of, I hate to say this, the white male children, that when it came to her own children, now you're angry because you done took care of somebody else's children. Your husband is gone because they done sold him away. So I gotta have an outlet. You're my outlet. My kid is my outlet. So we're taught, not only just men, but women, not to have emotions. And our emotions is anger. Black people don't know that they're tired. Black people don't know that they're depressed. They just know, oh, I'm angry. And unfortunately, how does that look in a relationship? That looks like anger.
And then add to that, and then I'm gonna pass it over to Ron after this, but add to that, because Black people have been taught, you know, what happens in this house stays in this house. We don't tell nobody our business. And then we self-medicate to deal with our feelings. So we're not actually getting any mental health help in this stuff. We just using drugs and alcohol and sex and gambling and whatever other self-medication that you
and food.
And food.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Yes. Soul food. Oh, I love it. But it's so
Well, that big macaroni and cheese. But we got diabetes, we got high blood pressure.
I'm fasting. Stop.
I'm done.
Listen, I've literally gotten to the point where I check myself and I check my friends when something is going on, and then like they're just eating. I was telling one of my friends the other day, I said, are you eating? Are you stress eating? Or are you actually hungry? Because you just left a restaurant. So why are you eating again? And she was like, I'm stress eating. I was like, okay, you need to stop. Because that's not how we deal with we're not dealing with our stuff that way. We're not stuffing our feelings anymore. And especially since we're supposed to be trying to get healthy and stuff. Stop stuffing your face to stuff your feelings. But anyway,
it's an addiction just like drugs. Not
it is. It is.
Want to say that, because we can literally go to the grocery store and buy food, but that's the same thing as anything else. We're depending on food instead of God. We've put food ahead of God. That's crazy when we think about that, though.
It is. I agree.
But it's true. It's true.
Yeah, I agree with everything y'all said. I just think, within the Black community, we just need to get more familiar with actually trying to get help instead of trying to be so I guess strong and we got it. We've been doing this for we've been oppressed. Nah, we gotta just actually go get help instead of trying to mask it with other things. So I think once we get to a place of normalizing that, I really feel like things will be better. It's not going to happen overnight, but for example, how all of you are familiar with that. I think we just continue to preach the message to people. It's okay to go get help. It's okay to not be okay. We're not in a perfect world. Everybody not going to be happy. Everybody done went through different things. So sometimes we need help that can give us our strength,
Yeah.
So,
There's strength in asking for help.
Yeah, straight up.
And not just the help that you get from your homegirl who just as hurt as you, or your homeboy who just as hurt as you, a non-biased person.
Yeah.
Who can
a professional. Stop calling your family, keeping them on the phone for hours about your stuff, and you ain't taking their advice because you call people to vent, but you ain't actually taking their advice, and you're draining them. You are draining, and I wish Shannon was on here because he did a whole hour message on Instagram about this. That is not counseling when you call your friends and your family and you're draining them, and then they don't want to talk to you. They don't want to answer the phone because they know you're just full of drama and you ain't actually trying to get no help. You just want to complain about how messed up your life is. And then when people try to tell you this is what you should do, then you be like, you don't know anything, then stop calling. Stop calling. Get a professional. Go pay somebody.
And I would just
use what I'm gonna say. I done had conversations because I'm quick to say you need to find God and you need help. Well, that's why I'm calling you.
I'm not.
I'm not Jesus. Not Jesus. I have boundaries.
I do. And you know what? This is
not on my resume today.
Yeah, you're right. I love that y'all saying that. And I also want to expound on the fact that, Chantel, you know how passionate I get about this because I work in mental health. And my issue with people not seeking help is but you'll get your hair done, you'll get your butt done, you'll get your abs done, you gonna go get a haircut, you will get your nails done, but you just like a dressed up trash can. That's what we want to be. Dressed up trash cans. So my problem with that is, so we'll invest all of this time into our outer appearance, but on the inside, we all jacked up and it still comes out. So my thing is that if you go to the doctor because you had a stroke, you're not going to go to a mental health professional because you're having a mental stroke. It just don't make sense to me. I just have a problem with it, but I know I'm just very passionate. I love mental health. I love people to be mentally whole. And I just I would desire to see that in relationships so we can stop passing this trauma down and these generational curses down and we can be in health and live in health. I'm done.
I like that. That was, yeah.
I don't got no tea, but Lord.
Hold on, because I got a scripture. The Lord just dropped a shot on her. Matthew 23:26. Jesus said, "You blind Pharisees, first wash the inside of the cup and the dish, and then the outside will become clean too."
Come on.
You working
From
on
the
this
inside
outer
out.
game, but you ain't working on the inside. And your beauty comes. This is called Inspiring Beauty and Believers, y'all. Just so you know, this is called. You have to clean from the inside out. So if you want to be beautiful, you got to be beautiful from the inside out. Because if all of this look good and then you just ugly on the inside, that's just ugly. Don't be ugly.
Don't let the world mess with who you are. You know what I mean? And the world is on the outside. God is inside of me. So I get that right, then I will no longer let the world affect me, but I will start to affect the world. That's the goal. That's the goal. But you have to do it from the inside because God created you and he created from the inside out. So once you have that power, you can stop worrying about the world because it's going to happen either which way. I don't care within any relationship, either somebody's going to affect you or you're going to affect them. I'm working on being to that point where I'm going to affect you. That's what I'm working on. Another thing that I just wanted to add when we were talking about helping people and we were talking about our families, like, so I'm a minister, whatever you want to call with whatever it is. So I have people that come to me that I help, right? But when it comes to family, God, like there's certain things with my wife. Hey, yo, I'm not the one, especially when seeking God. That's something else. I can't. That's your thing. And God has personally told me, like, yo, I know this is what you do for other people, but this is not necessarily something that you should do for your wife. Because just like when Jesus went back, they were like, yo, you're just a carpenter's son.
Yeah.
So your family sees you as just that carpenter's son.
Man, that's so real, man.
To help them out, ain't nobody gonna happen.
Yeah.
He able to help everybody else, but everybody that was in his city, they saw him as the carpenter's son.
Abraham and Lot.
You see what I mean? So ain't nothing in that book that ain't today. So, but you have to realize that. And that's simply me following God. As much as I want to take care of my family because I am a protector in every situation, God, is this where I need to be? Or do I need to say, hey, son, I know you're going through some things right now. You need to go speak to a specialist.
Yeah.
Hey, go talk to one of your friends. Like you. But once again, that guidance comes from God because God will tell you, nope, no, you don't need to be. Don't mess with that. You're gonna ruin it yourself. You working on stuff yourself. You need to give this one away. You need to speak to that person. You know. And sometimes what happens with me, I mean, people walk up to me and I'm like, well, I don't even know you like that, but God has told this person that I'm the person that they need to speak to in that moment. And that's what happens. And when you're in that type of role, you kind of get buffed up and you're like, oh, I'm helping the whole world. There's people that I can help that you can't help, but there's people that you help that I can't help. That's why we are different.
Straight up. Yeah.
But we need to understand that, you know, but yeah, that's big. That's just, I think that's major. I think that's really, really major as far as you can't help everybody. You're not built to help everybody. You are built to help specific people, but not everybody.
Some people don't want to help themselves. Like they'll ask you for advice, but they don't even apply it to their life. So it's like they don't even want it bad enough. They're looking for some type of magic wand, like, you're better now. It's like, but nah, man, you gotta want it. You gotta want it. I used to be like that. You know, I was in a bad relationship. I always be like, man, no, I'm complaining about it. But I ain't doing that. I kind of knew the answer. I just didn't want to believe it. The answer was get out of that and heal. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to make it work how it was, but it just wasn't gonna happen. So I have to actually want help, and I have to walk away from the situation. That was my help, leaving that energy alone.
Leaving that energy.
Better now.
And can you go on, because listen,
that's
it's rare that you hear a man say, I knew that I had to get out of this relationship and heal. And especially, whether, and I don't know the dynamics of the relationship, but I just did a talk with some other ladies. We were talking about domestic violence and knowing when to get out of a relationship and the signs of it. And domestic violence is not always physical abuse. There are other ways that you could be being abused in a relationship, and men get abused too in a relationship. Going back to the women that's talking crazy, that's verbal abuse, ladies. Stop verbally abusing these men and telling them they ain't
Subscribe so you don't miss next week's video.
nothing. That's why, because you can speak to two parts, and you can speak to the king or the fool, and then you keep wondering why this fool keeps showing up because you keep talking to him, and
Come
that's
on,
the
Leon.
person you call it. So anyway, can you go into like, how did you know that you needed to get out, and what did you do to really start that healing process? We're gonna help free some men today.
Honestly, as you believe in God and you start to understand what God wants for you, you start to kind of pay attention to like your life and how you're living versus how, the things that you read and hear from God. So I knew, there was certain stuff I was doing with this person, and I'm like, okay, this is against God. And I keep doing it and been doing it for years. And I'm like, I'm doing it with this person. This person don't really believe, and I'm wrapped up in them. So my bad habits I'm getting those bad habits from them because I'm always around them. And as I start getting closer to God, it hurt me, but I'm like, yo,